If you'll excuse my French, it looks drier than a nun's pussy.
How dare you
Oh my
insult
God.
cinnamon like this?
Uh, that was a good thing to start the recording on. Anyways, let me eat it anyway, because I am a respectable man.
Of course.
So you guys are, it's, I'm just gonna say that the last session and this session happened at the same time, because it makes,
Okay.
it makes sense. It's still the day of you guys crash landing, or crashing and then swimming to this island. So I guess crash swimming. And so there's some new people around. Let me go put them up. You have seen Kellersa de Pisifia.
God, I love her.
Me too. Blue Sage.
I love her.
Me too. Ophelia Urugi.
Oh God, I love her.
There's so many beautiful women.
And Laddie 2.0. I don't know if you guys watched the YouTube video of last session.
I didn't get a chance to.
I woke up 10 minutes before 4.
It's
So.
3 hours long, so I don't blame you. I don't edit whatsoever. Well, you know, it is dry as hell.
Just stick it in the microwave, that generally fixes it.
I did. And it's still dry.
Well then, the fault lays on your microwave.
Goddamn local bakeries and baking things locally. Okay, then I guess I'll just redo everything, because I don't really care. I can just talk and hope that I don't contradict anything. It's always a really tough thing, because I don't write anything down. It's just all in my big brain.
I feel.
Brain blast. Okay, so right now you guys are, yeah, you're walking up. You landed over here on this side of the beach, because I just finished this map.
I like it.
It's a good map.
I didn't finish it. I finished this much. And if you look down here in the lower left corner, I finally drew a second story.
I saw.
like it.
Because like this directly goes over here. You just walk up those stairs. So neither of you were here for the tour, right?
Nope.
Correct.
Okay. Clarissa is gonna gather you guys up, and she's gonna go. Would you like to see the White Island? I can give you a guided tour.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Let me blow on my tea.
What a beautiful sound.
ASMR.
Shitty ass American drinks his microwaved tea ASMR.
Yes.
I'll get me some subscribers. Okay. So she walks out the front doors of this place. They're like a big church doors. They're really thick. And she waves back at it and holds out her arms and goes, "This is the White Keep." Well, I mean, probably to start off, you guys are on the White Island. Everything here is named White because she kind of holds up her robes and stuff and goes it's just like our color. How Bellhaven is blue, Camelot is red, the lads are purple, we are white. So this here is the White Keep. It's just, it was made a long time ago. It's kind of our home. It's kind of our jail a little bit, but it's nice enough. I don't think I've described the island to you. It's a nice tropical island, even though, so you think to yourself, and you're pretty far north for it to be this warm, or no, pretty far south, since farther south you go, the colder it gets, because Oppet is the coldest, and Camelot and Cooper are the warmest. And so you're a little far south for it to be this warm, but you don't question it because it's really nice. It's a tropical island. All of these jungle things are straight up jungle. They have palm trees and vines and stuff, and you hear animals in there. But anyway, she walks all the way down this path, talking to you guys a little bit, chatting with you, possibly flirting with you a little bit, but it's low-key at first. And she walks to the dock. She kind of like motions to it and goes, this is the dock that we've used. It has been used since like, 6 years ago. But, hopefully one day it will become useful once again. Can I boost my microphone volume, or do I just speak into it louder? I think I'll just speak into it louder, because that was a problem in the recordings, that I was too quiet. Around the island is kind of a semi-artificial reef. We can like damage it and get rid of it, but very soon after it'll grow back. The strange thing about this island is that its natural properties makes everything grow a little bit faster. She kind of walks off the dock and points at some trees over here that are pretty full-grown trees, and just like puts her hand on one and just goes, "We chopped this tree down last month for 5 years." So it's a little bit of a strange island, but it's nice. It's warm. It's got nice beaches. It would be a good tourist attraction if people didn't almost die getting here. Or die getting here. This right here is now the storage room, but it used to be a dorm for anyone who was visiting. Let me blow my nose. That's a good recording right there.
Bad ASR. Bad ASR.
I kind of want to get like a vape thing so I can just do an ASMR vape on recording.
You should.
Listen to these fatty clouds. Okay, right now it holds like food and everything left over that we need. Not extremely interesting, but it's there. And she continues walking a little bit. She points off at the forest and just goes, "Big Bethy is somewhere in that forest." She waddled off and just winked and like ate some roots or something.
Who's Big
I'm glad
Bethy?
she's okay.
Who's Big Beth? Oh, excuse me. Who's Big Bethy, you ask? That's Big Bethy. Big Bethy is 7 feet 9 inches long, 4 foot 3 inches tall, and 2,000 pounds.
Oh my god, I love her.
It was a pig that the party picked up in Littlevin.
Oh, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah, you did. I don't think I recorded that session either, so my bad.
No, you did. You did.
Did I?
think. Yeah, I think that was the first session that got recorded, wasn't it?
I don't know. Let me go check. And
I think
not
so.
very, very, like barely not listen to Carly Rae Jepsen Boy Problems.
Hey, problems.
Who's got them? I've got them too. Okay. I think I can't say what my favorite song on that album is. How do I get to my channel now with new YouTube?
You.
You know what? I
Fuck,
don't
I
think
don't
it
know.
matters. Because I don't know how the fuck to do it. You're gonna write my bio in your handwriting. Thanks, Robin.
Yep.
So then she walks a little bit farther and goes, this is the training area. I don't have it down in the maps, but there's a bunch of like weights and stuff, and there's a pool, and there's like pull-up bars, and then like all sorts of exercise equipment over here. Maybe there's like a sparring ring or something. Yeah, it's nice. I don't know if you can like do a run around this thing to keep that lovely shape. Emphasis on shape. Then she walks along more, and she goes back into the White Keep. This right here is where we usually well, with like meetings and stuff, it's just a communal area. We put food on the table right here. I made that table like, I don't know, 85 years ago. It's a good table. Over here is the kitchen. That's Blue's room and Ophelia's room. You guys, if you would like, you can stay in these rooms over here. They're not extremely well furnished, but that's all I can say. This used to be an altar, but you know, the gods kind of vanished a while ago, so it's kind of been neglected. Down these stairs leads to the catacombs and the caverns, so I wouldn't do that quite yet. We don't need to go down there today. And up here, this is the library. You can see that there's just a shit ton of books. And over there is my bedroom, where all of you are welcome to join me.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of gets cold at night, so I wouldn't blame you. Any questions?
What type of books?
Um, is that what Ambria is asking?
Yes.
Ah, next to anything. I've been gathering this collection for a few centuries, so oh, my throat. Good recording. I've been gathering this for a few centuries, so nearly anything.
Centuries?
Hmm? Am I
You've
finished
been
chewing?
gathering. Okay.
I'm such a good GM.
Take your time. It's okay.
I did this exact thing yesterday. It's totally fine.
Okay. She kind of looks back at Clarice and goes, "Yeah, I'm very old.
Oh,
Been here for the last 34 years on this island, and for the last 6, I've only had the 3 other people on this island to talk to. So I'm very glad that you guys are here."
You look human, though. How are you so old?
You know, that's kind of a rude thing to say.
Amber, you can't just ask people that.
Really, you can't just
You
ask
have
people
to
if they
ask.
look human. She kind of like giggles a little bit and she goes, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I'm not technically human. Um, I guess you could say I'm the daughter of Clarence, but at the same time,
Oh,
I'm not the daughter of Clarence. I'm more like someone took his blood and then made like a child out of it.
Oh,
huh.
Like
okay.
when you cut a clipping off of a tree and then you plant the branch in the ground and then that tree grows. The second tree is me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Alright.
there's essentially no relation. Any more questions that I can answer?
You said the nature tends to grow back really fast here.
Yeah, that's correct. It's probably because all of the... Well, so there's a few like different aspects in play in there, I guess. White Island is essentially covered in the light aspect, and so light usually benefits plant life and that kind of thing.
Does this occur for the wildlife as well?
Well, I mean, they benefit by it, but it's not as direct benefit. It's not as good. I mean, they can eat a lot more, so they grow a lot more, but it's not giant-ass animals.
Alright.
Who are the other people that live on this island with you?
Oh, Blue Sage is actually just reading a book right on one of these pews, and she points over at Blue and goes, "That's Blue Sage, sister of Yellow Sage that you brought in." Ophelia and Laddie should be around here somewhere. They might be cutting down some trees or gathering some roots or something. Or maybe they're fishing. I'm not sure. When Blue hears her name, she kind of looks up and just looks over you guys and just waves a little bit.
Clarice waves back.
And she kind of speaks up and just goes, "Which one of you knocked out my sister?"
Not me.
Wasn't
Roll
me
insight so I
either.
can give you things that you weren't there for, but
Oh,
technically your
fuck.
character was.
I love being dragged places by family. Okay.
Insight, you said?
Yes. That's good enough.
Why am I rolling with
Maria,
the disadvantage?
okay, you both remember somehow that Captain Gavin brought sedatives because he knew that Middle was
Oh,
afraid of
right.
water, and so if Middle got too spooked, he'd pop a sedative, and Yellow got too spooked, so she popped a sedative.
Right. Okay, I was here for that, but I just forgot because I'm
Okay.
super
That's why I
dumb.
rolled insight.
That's very true.
God.
Bless you.
Bless
Bless you
you.
again.
Thanks. Good team effort.
Hell yeah. Then Clarice is gonna rat at him and say, "It was Captain. What's his name? Captain Gavin."
Okay, good, because if I remember anything about her, she's better when she's asleep.
Aww.
Yellow is currently in this room. Just sleeping.
Has my
If you
head
want to
laid
just
an egg?
go walk it, kick down the door and just go like, "Hey, Yellow, let me watch you sleep," then you can if you'd like.
I think I'll pass on that, but thank you for the opportunity.
If my hen has laid an egg, I want to place it next to Yellow's head.
Where's my die? There it is. It has not. In fact, it has not laid an egg in a while, and you're a little confused.
I'm concerned. Is she okay? Is she healthy?
I don't know, doing... Oh no, it wouldn't be an animal handling check, it'd be like an investigation check. You got no clue.
Oh no! I'm just
Kinda
gonna
like, well, it looks like a chicken.
I'm just gonna like pet her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What?
She clucks.
Good. She can still talk.
What's your chicken's name again?
We never named it.
That's right.
We were planning to name it, and then we didn't name it, and so it's kind of just like, oh, okay.
It's more like everyone kept giving me names, and I'm like, no, that's not good enough, and we just never found a good enough name.
What about Cassini?
Scanlan.
What about, what about Vix, as in, like that? Because Y is a vowel sometimes.
Vikes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hentai. No.
No, that was a joke. We think that's clothing for the hen.
Oh, right, right.
Hey, did you guys know that Alfred Einstein was one of the smartest mans of the 19th century, but did you know that he just shit all over the place constantly? Didn't know how to walk at all? Smoked
Whoa,
weed?
really?
Graduated DeVry University at age 3? Played Paul on the Wonder Years? Was a furry? Lived in a house made of cheese? Believed in God? Failed the driving test 8,000 times?
Me
Barbecued a
too.
stick for an hour? Knew Dracula? Fell down a mineshaft and died?
Are you reading from something?
Goals.
Yeah. Hold on, I can send it to you.
Please.
I've seen this so many times and it's always good.
I can relate because I also failed the driving test 8,000 times.
I like barely passed it. My first try. It's one
I
of my
failed
favorite
my
inventions.
permit test 3 days in a row
How?
because I'm dumb
Okay.
and I didn't study.
That'd probably do it. I guess I'm just a good driver.
This picture's so fucking funny. I don't know why.
I've hit so many things with my car.
Who isn't a furry in this day and age? Okay, so you guys had the chance to talk to everyone on this island on Twitter, but you didn't.
I mean, I spoke to her once.
Yeah, I did it once.
Compared to what you could have done, you didn't.
I know. I have my
So,
notifications turned off on Clarice
why?
because she's a bot and people retweet her stuff sometimes,
Oh,
and like
okay.
I'll just get the same notifications over and over.
You can make it like on AKA Best Lucio, I have it where it's only people that I follow make notifications.
Oh shit.
So that when my
Okay.
mutuals are like, hey boy, I like that. I know.
That's actually a good idea.
I don't know how to do
Forgot
it.
you
It just
can
kind
do
of
that.
happened.
Oh, I'll figure it out.
Okay. After that, Calrus is kind of like, are you guys hungry at all? When was the last time you had eaten?
A while ago.
No clue.
Okay. I forgot. Let me just real quick. When Clarissa goes outside, she changes her clothes a little bit. Like her robes kind of just turn white and just morph into the picture you might have seen her in more. Is that gonna upload?
Mm-hmm.
Is it not gonna upload? What's going on here? I'm putting it in the Discord. There it is.
Oh,
She
okay.
just like puts on armor, and then she walks outside, and then when she comes back inside, she puts back on the robes. It's just something that I forgot to mention. That's, it's there.
What a woman.
I know, right? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So the blue kind of gets up, and Calorissa joins her in the kitchen. They cook something up. They lay out like a bunch of different tropical foods. There's a bunch of fish and like some roots and stuff, and some nice tropical fruits. It's pretty good, but you can tell that you can kind of tell that they've been eating the same thing for the last 6 years because they haven't gotten any new supplies.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a little lackluster to them. But they set it all down and you guys can start eating. And you could talk over dinner if you would like. If you have anything to say, please have something to
First, I want to feed my bear some of my food too,
say.
because
Okay.
he's probably super hungry.
They bring out a separate plate for Vex, and it's a much larger plate.
I'm doing the same for my hen, but I'm making sure she eats because I'm concerned about her now.
She like pecks the food and eats it.
Good.
What are you giving her?
Uh,
There are like some different oats and grains, and there's like some rice that you can give her
those.
probably.
She's getting those.
Okay.
I actually looked through my inventory to see if I could offer them food they probably don't have, but one, it's probably gone stale too. It's just 2 bread loaves and an egg.
Mhm.
I feel like the egg might be something they don't have, but even then I'm not sure, so.
That's all you need.
Who knows?
It's probably a stale egg. Can I check to see if it's stale?
Oh yeah, give me perception.
Can I roll for the bread as well?
Yes. they don't like you touch the bread and it's kind of hard and you're just like and you look at the egg and you can just smell it. You're just like, that's
I'm going to get rid of those on the sly.
Okay, how are you gonna get rid of them?
Does it look like this where we put our dishes when we're done?
Are you gonna? Okay, I guess we're gonna skip forward through dinner.
No, I meant like, okay, I'll do that later though. I don't want to skip dinner.
Okay. Why are there 4 different hockey teams in the Czech Republic?
Why not?
Because I mean, Germany, a much larger country, which with much more population, only has 3. Maybe the Czech are just really good at hockey.
Either that or they really enjoy it.
Probably. Okay. Any questions you want to ask over dinner? Because there's a lot of stuff that you could ask, but you know.
How did you end up on this island?
Are you asking Calrissa?
Kind of both of them.
Okay. Carissa's gonna go first. I was actually, well, I can't say born, I can't say created. I was raised on this island, actually. If you go down into the catacombs, eventually you'll find this big circular room, and I just kind of stepped out of a large lotus flower there. Kind of strange now that I think about it, but you know, it's what happened. And Blue kind of goes, I used to be a lad, and then I realized that the lads were shitty, and so I tried to help Calrissa here in reforming them, and then they tried to take me away from her, and then she shot down or completely destroyed the boat that I was being transported on. But luckily, Middle and Captain Gavin, she points to Middle and Captain Gavin, were able to rescue me and bring me back here, where I wanted to be.
How dangerous are the catacombs underneath the island?
Blue's gonna talk. It's a little strange to say because there's a lot of divine influence in this island, and down there there's no like sunlight to keep bad shit from forming, and so all types of things can essentially come out of the walls and the woodwork down there. Every once in a while we have to go down there because down there is the like how we control the temperature of the pool that up there at the training center and stuff, and there are some like metal deposits down there that we need to get, but it's actually pretty rare for us to go down there because it's pretty dangerous. Luckily Calrissa's pretty adept, pretty good at dispensing some fantastic justice, but you know, it's something that I'd advise against unless you guys really want to.
I really want to.
You really want to?
Yeah!
Okay.
I think I'll pass for now.
I want to see a giant lotus flower.
Well, it's kind of wilted by now. It's been a few hundred years.
I want to go down a lot less.
I mean, it's still there. It's just, you know, when you have a flower and then it dies, then it kind of goes.
Mm-hmm. What was that altar used for?
The altar used to be used to worship Clarence. This was like a monastery as well as my home when I was younger, but you know, ever since Clarence kind of disappeared.
Right. What was worship of Clarence like?
Well, since he was a god of order, it was a lot of there's a lot of regimens. It was a lot of like routines and stuff. It was mostly like reading different scriptures and stuff. It was just a long while ago that we stopped it because well all the gods are gone now.
Do you like worshiping him?
Um, hmm. Hmm.
Uh-oh.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, they're back.
But you asked if she liked worshiping gods?
Yeah.
She kind of like drums her fingers on her lips a little bit and just taps it and goes, I guess it's kind of strange when you are the monks and the religious men that always stayed here said that one day I would grow up into a god. And so it's a little strange to worship something that you'll become. If that makes sense. It was weird to say the least, but I mean it was nice having a lot of people here, even if the people weren't that nice.
Hmm. Was Clarence the only god worshipped here?
Here, yes, the other gods were mostly on the mainland, but this was oh okay, so oh god, how long ago was this? Did I write it down? I don't think I did. You're not 32. Oh my god. I didn't. Okay, so a few centuries ago, I walked out of a lotus flower here, and then very soon after, well, lad's sponsored expedition landed on this island, and it was kept a secret from most people on the mainland. And so, they believed that I was like their savior and things, and I was a direct conduit to God, to Clarence. So this whole island was specifically for Clarence. On the mainland, they worshipped a lot of other gods, like all the smaller gods that inhabited the area. But once all those gods died, it kind of the religions mm, dried up essentially.
They died.
Oh God, yeah. She kind of She kind of like she was about to say, "Did you not know that?" But then she stops herself for a second and just goes, "You know, I kind of noticed it before, but you're not from Erinegis, are you?"
No.
And she kind of like reaches out a hand towards you, goes like, "Make I have your hand for a second?"
Yes?
Okay. She holds it and like brushes her fingertips over your knuckles. She goes, "Could you tell me about your god, about Suni?"
Oh, um, sure. What do you want to know?
Well, what is she a goddess of? What is she like?
She's the goddess of beauty. She's also known as Lady Firehair and the Princess of Passion by some people. Um, she's very focused on outward beauty, but there's also a focus on inward beauty. If you're beautiful on the inside, it'll show on the outside, and if you're a nasty person, you won't be as physically beautiful. My mother is actually the heart warder back from where I'm from. She's kind of like the grand cleric of the church of my hometown.
That sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been, are you a cleric, a priestess?
A cleric, yeah.
How long have you been worshipping her?
Well, since I was born, really.
Where are you from then?
My hometown is a very large city called Photovolia. It's a city and a country at the same time.
Oh, like a
And it's within, yeah.
city-state, okay. We
Hmm.
used to have those a long time ago.
It's a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
I miss it, but and she just kind of shrugs.
Well, if it was your hometown, then it certainly makes a lot of beautiful things as well.
Thank you.
Hmm.
What happened to the monk?
Well, as time went on, like maybe a century passed and they realized what abilities I was getting, the lads took more interest. And, well, more lads came in, less monks started coming, and so it was more of a mixed area. But then once all the gods died or vanished or whatever, then the monks essentially dried up themselves, and no one was really willing to become a monk. And, yeah, they just all died off, essentially. No one to replace them. There's still a few remnants of churches and things, like, well, this is one, but all remnants of religion are next to gone. There's a few, like, cults and things now, but, well, actually, I don't know if there are any more. The lads might have gotten rid of them. It's been 6 years since I've been to the mainland. A lot can happen in that time.
Hmm. Do you think any of the lads will try and follow us out to this island?
I really don't know. Was it just yellow that they were coming after?
Uh, I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I'm sure that was their main goal, but I don't know.
It doesn't sound like the waters were always so dangerous to cross.
Um, well, if it took a few tries for the first expedition, but by then they mapped out the course and knew, like, they're very professional about the whole thing. They knew exactly where to go, exactly when to turn and things. So when the first civilian expedition, Captain Gavin's, came, they had no idea what to face. And it's a very complicated waterway to navigate. And so it's actually surprising that they got that far. Um, Now since it's been, hmm, since most of the lads, navigators who made it are, she kind of like points out, off in this direction. Now that they're all bottom of the sea over there. You know, it's kind of, they're gonna have a hard time getting back over here.
Huh.
I kind of regret doing that.
Doesn't mean other people can't really come here either.
Well, I mean, you all made it, technically. Kind of. So, I mean, they can, it's just, it'd be a little difficult to actually get here.
Was it like this for when the monks were traveling here?
Um, oh, in what way do you mean?
No, I mean, you said monks would come here.
Yeah. Well, it would be like one boat every 2 months, since the island is rather sustainable for a number of people. Um, and so she kind of like thumbs her chin a little bit and goes, "Give me a moment and I'll go and explain." She walks upstairs and then you can hear like some rustling because if you look on the second story, this whole area is cut out so you can like see up to the second story, like a nice Catholic cathedral or something.
Ooh.
And then she comes back down and she like unrolls a map and like scoots some plates out of the way and puts it down, and it's this map that you're seeing right here.
Oh.
The route you're
Whoa!
supposed to take, you're supposed to come in something like this and then take a right, but then you need to go out more, and then you need to come directly back in, and then like that, and then she kind of like goes off the page and goes, I really don't know how to, what part is out there. And then over here, there's actually a reef going right there, so then you have to go right back that way, and then you can come back in. So they made ships specifically for navigating these reefs. They would usually like anchor a larger ship out here, and then they'd send in a smaller ship to go actually bring supplies and people.
Oh.
Wow.
So it's got some good natural defenses.
Sure seems like it.
And in fact, this route is probably no longer accessible. I sank a ship right there, and one right there, I believe, and one up here somewhere. So those should block that channel if they try to come back. And that's pretty much the only way through.
That kind of sounds like they can't leave either.
Well, not by boat. I can get you guys back to the mainland, but unfortunately I can't join you.
Is it them the lads, or?
I'm not quite sure. About 4 years ago, we were running out of supplies, and so we tried to build a raft, and because the raft is so like it lands on the water, we were able to go above the reef, and right about where the mist is, about 10 feet after the mist, I just hit a wall and I was stopped. I actually got flung off the boat. So, something is making me unable to move past there. But luckily, I have some abilities, so you guys won't have the same thing. I believe that it's an anchor on the mainland that's preventing me. The last session, she already talked to Briella and made like some arrangements. You guys are probably going to go find and destroy the anchor, but you don't know where it is quite.
Okay.
Let me... Oh, that's how I get to my channel. I have to click on the little thing up the upper right-hand corner.
Sure.
Let me really quickly look for this part of the thing. of the recording. And eat more of my dry cinnamon roll.
That poor cinnamon roll.
It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Sidebar. I wonder how differently they came.
Is it here? Because I want to explain this roughly the same way that I did. But I can put more work into it and figure out a more precise location if you'd like. Okay. So she like rolls out a second map, and what do you know? It's a world map. So I actually forgot to mention this. On most world maps, it doesn't have this, and it doesn't have this. So
Okay.
the world map that Nick gave you has both of those things, but any other world map that you see does not have those two things.
Oh.
Or some of them might have like the beginning of this path, but not the whole thing. It certainly doesn't have this brown dot down here. And because nobody believes Captain Gavin actually found an island out there because it's so improbable. This island is definitely not there.
Is Laddie 2.0 with us in the dining room?
You know what? Now that you say it, you hear something being spoken outside the door. It's just like it's a woman's voice. You can't really put anything onto it quite yet. But then in response you hear, and then there's some more murmurings from the voice, and then you hear in response, and then you can finally make out through the doors. What? No, we're not gonna. You don't need to eat, laddie. You do not. No, you're not going to eat it. And then the doors open, and you see Ophelia and Laddie walk through the door. Laddie is carrying like 3 very large fish, and Ophelia is just carrying a fishing pole. They walk towards the kitchen, not even noticing you guys.
Clarice waves at them anyway.
The motion catches her eye, and she like looks over at you. She's like walking, and then she looks to her left. Look, step, stop. And then very slowly turns to look at all of you, and Laddie just kind of looks too.
Hello.
Whoa.
This is Ophelia, and that over there is Laddie. Or Laddie 2.0 if you want his full name. They're the other 2 people on this island that you'll have to meet. Laddie only speaks in numerical tones. We're still working on how to actually get him to speak, but one day we'll get him.
So Laddie's a robot?
Yes. One of the people that we had here once, well, So first it was a monastery, then it was a research facility and monastery, and then it was a research facility and not a monastery, and then it was a hospital, and then it was a rehabilitation center. And then one of the people in the rehabilitation center built Laddie, because the lads have always been corrupt, but I've always envisioned the lads to be better, and so I've essentially spread my doctrines to the people that have been here, and as Blue will probably agree, that's kind of what makes her want to stay here. My influence. And so, one of the people built Laddie while he was here, and unfortunately, before he could finish Laddie, he was taken away from the island.
How long ago was that?
She kind of looks at Laddie and it's like, taps her lips and goes, 8 years? 9 years? A little while.
Yeah.
Laddie kind of very quickly walks into the kitchen and drops off his fish and then comes back and sits down and just kind of looks at both all of you, because it's not just you two, there's actually the whole party there, and just goes,
Oh,
Hello.
I wish I could talk to him.
Hmm?
I wish I could talk to him. I wish I knew what he was saying.
well, there are a few things that you can understand. When it ends on a high note, like, Laddie, do you like fishing? Oh, fuck. When it ends on a high note, like, it's usually either a question or a yes. If it's just, Laddie, do you like fishing? Then that's yes. But if it ends on a low note, or if it's just a low note, then it's either a period or it's a no. Like, Laddie, do you like rust?
I like him.
Yeah, he's sweet. One day, I'm hoping to, like, somehow figure out a text-to-speak thing for him. For when he's upgraded into Laddie 3.0.
Oh,
But anyway, he's a very interesting design. I'm hoping that one day, once we go back to the mainland and the lads actually want to have the reform done, that Laddie will be the basis of the new lads.
Oh.
One based on protecting and serving the people instead of reinforcing people in power. But I don't think I need to preach to you two. You guys are running from the lads, so I don't think that's much of a very needed.
One of my friends had to go on trial for the lads. I think she's okay, but I don't know.
bless you twice.
Thank you. Twice. Okay. Okay. Any more questions you want to ask? Ophelia eventually, like, goes and sets her fishing pole down and sits down and crosses her arms and just kind of looks at you guys very suspiciously.
I'll ask how Ophelia got here.
Blue and Clarissa open their mouths and kind of glance over at Ophelia, but Ophelia cuts them off. He goes, I've always been here.
Oh,
I'm the Lord Commander of White Keep. And, I think that's all you need to know.
Ambria opened her mouth for another question, but she just closed it.
So, what are you doing on the White Island?
Not drowning.
That can change.
Oh.
Clarissa kind of like scoots over towards Ophelia and goes, Ophelia, they are guests. They're not here to hurt us. They came here in a time of need. We're not gonna turn away anyone who needs help. And Ophelia just kind of launches into a Sokobot, okay. Or Musicbot, not Focobot. Ophelia and Clarissa kind of go into a discussion, and Blue kind of scoots over towards the rest of the party and Laddie and just goes, she's a little bit sour. She's gotten through a lot, and she's naturally suspicious. So you might want to keep your distance. You might want to not piss her off, because she probably thinks that you all are spies.
right.
But Clarissa trusts you, so I do as well.
Well, thank you for that.
Of course.
Oh, there's a buzzing noise. Did anyone else hear the buzzing noise or just me?
You hear that nice fan, though. Your number one fan. Okay. Any more questions? You can ask anything. You can ask them what their favorite kind of bread is, and I'll pull an answer out of my ass.
Do you have chickens
Flurries will
here?
ask what their favorite kind of bread is.
Okay. Blue kind of leans back and thinks for a moment and goes, I always loved rye, especially on Reuben sandwiches. It's my favorite. And Clarissa kind of like rests her hand on her chin on her hand and just goes, cinnamon bread. What I wouldn't give for another thing of cinnamon bread. Laddie kind of just goes,
What does that mean?
Ophelia kind of groans for a second and just goes, he says he can't eat bread, but he'd like to.
Oh, I want to eat bread.
I don't think any of you guys were here for that, but Middle really took a liking to Laddie as well and just kept giving him fish, but he can't eat it, so he just kept holding it. So, what are you doing in Erinegis? Why are you here, essentially?
Clarice kind of looks at Ambria like, are we allowed to say what we're doing?
Maybe.
Good answer.
Were you particularly fond of gods and stuff?
Well, since they're all either dead or Clarence and abandoned, I guess. Not very.
Well, that... Okay, I think we can tell them that.
All right. We were. Ambria, you tell it. I feel weird saying it. I feel like I shouldn't. I don't want to be the one to say it in case we shouldn't.
Okay, well, we're here to make a thing possible for other people to do, but our main goal is to cause some sort of chaos. But you know, maybe not a bad way, because like if we were to help you with like stopping the current lad's way of life or whatever, that'd be chaos. So
You hear a beep.
not chaos.
It's to distract Clarence.
So Chigana goes, oh, so you mean like causing disorder in the way that it'd take Erinegis from what he imagined?
Still chaos, but yes, yeah, that's better than what I was saying.
The way you were saying it is like you want to throw Erinegis into the fires of hell or something.
Oh,
I said chaos. I did not say throw people. Okay.
Chaos has a bit of a connotation, Ambria.
It's
Chaos just means disorder. It doesn't always.
Yes, it does mean that literally, but
That's
unfortunately
what
it
it
doesn't
means,
mean that
Ambria.
figuratively.
I've never done this before. Okay.
Alright, that's fine.
But yeah, it's to distract Clarence and make him start focusing on
Briella steps
Erinegis
up
again.
and explains it correctly, the best way that
Fuck.
it can be explained last session. So you guys are like, oh,
Okay.
thank God Briella's here. I think she did. It might have been both Adrian and Briella. I'm not sure.
Tag team.
I still have to watch the last session.
Honestly,
Fuck.
just watch the last, like, 30 minutes or so.
Sure.
30, 35. And that will give you all the information on what you're planning on doing, I think.
Okay.
Right?
More precise.
Probably.
Okay. Um... So at that, she kind of goes ahead and... When you watch the video, you'll find out, but she kind of goes, once Clarence is gone, and that means that the light that he gives to the land will be gone, and the lads will be severely disadvantaged as well, and it will be a great position to reform them. I would like to help you if you'll have me.
Of course.
We need all the help we can get.
But I do need, like, I guess it would be called something like a preemptive favor.
Sure. Well, what is it?
Well, I talked about like the anchor
Mm-hmm.
before a little bit. We believe that it's like a physical object. And so if you either destroy it or remove the ability. Hold on. If you either destroy it or remove its ability to keep me on this island, then I could help you significantly more.
Of course. I mean, we can try. Do you know anything about it other than it might be physical?
You just immediately accepted this. Brielle and Adrian took like 10 minutes of debating it.
Clarice is very trusting
Yeah, I
and
know.
stuff.
She kind of like Briella steps up and says, "We need to go to the
She
cow." Well,
steps in.
let me actually let Calrissa say that, since this session and the last session are happening at the exact same time, and they're just being mashed together. Since neither Robin or Izzy were here last session, I'm just saying, hey, you know what? This still happened at the same time. So you asked, is there anything more you can tell you about the
Mm-hmm.
anchor? She kind of thinks for a moment and just goes, about, during the war, I was essentially the creator of a squad of special forces for the Bellhaven military. One of their handlers is, Filipio is his last name. Harold, maybe? Geraldo? Harold Filipio, I
Oh,
believe. And so, he he's a good friend of mine, and I believe that he might be able to give you more information. I can give you like a rough approximation where it is, but he'd probably know best where it is. So the wall is something like that. If you look in the lower left-hand corner around the island, I drew something in white
mm-hmm.
or light gray or something. It's something like that, and supposedly it's a circle, but it overlaps with the wall, so we can't really get out that way either. And trust me, we've tried. Um, so judging by like the curvature of the thing, and I did a bunch of like geometry and math and trigonometry and calculus, I think, too. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to figure out that it's likely somewhere within this circle.
Okay.
I'm not sure where in this circle. If you can find him, God, I don't even know if Harold's alive now. Last time I saw him was about 25 years ago. So
We
he's
met him,
probably, you've,
didn't we?
you met him?
Did we? I'm pretty sure we did. I think I called him a hot grandpa or something.
Give me an insight roll.
Fuck. I mean me, not Clarice. Clarice didn't say
Yeah.
that. That was.
Yes, you have made the connection much faster than everyone else. It is Harold Calva. He got married, and so has changed his last name.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. You did make that connection really easily.
I was
That
wondering.
name. I was
Hmm?
like, Harold Fleet, we've met him.
Yeah.
I love the Calvas.
Yeah. So, does she say Harold Calva? Like, ask if it's Harold Calva? Is that what
Yeah,
you
she'll be
said?
like, yeah, Harold Calva?
Oh, did he get married?
I, I assume.
You know, actually, that makes a lot of sense. He was always kind of interested in Adele Calva. So, yeah, they probably are the same person. He was a handler in one of the... Well, they were called Foss, which is an ancient language for light. And that was the name of special forces group. He was a handler in one of them, and so he'd probably have a lot of information on what they did and where it might be, and probably what it looks like as well. So if you meet up with him, then he could probably help you out a lot.
Sure. I mean,
Well, and after you get rid of its effects, you can come back to the mainland significantly easier, and I'll be able to help you out quite a bit.
Man, it's a good thing they like us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so how are we getting back to the mainland?
Well, I'm able to manipulate since I am essentially... Okay, do you want me to like get real verby and vocal on how I exist?
sure.
Yeah, it'd probably clear things up.
Okay. Um, Clarence exerts a bunch of his own influence into this world, and each person has 4 different aspects. There's light, dark, absence, and creation in every single person. And so Clarence's influence comes in those 4 aspects. All of the light dribbled up and created this island and created me. And so I can do quite a bit with light. I'm gonna essentially turn all of you into light and then shoot you back to the mainland.
Oh,
Oh.
I've done it before with Middle and Gavin, so Gavin kind of speaks and goes like, it kind of tingles a little bit, but you know, it feels alright. I only lost my leg. He puts up his peg leg on the thing.
is he being serious?
No, he kind of giggles a little bit. And he goes, nah, I'm fucking with you, I lost that when I sank my ship.
Okay. This will probably work then.
Kawarisa kind of like, she kind of looks embarrassed and kind of goes like, I'm still sorry about that, Captain Gavin. I didn't mean to. And he kind of like waves her off. He says, "Ha, it's all right."
Alright, so we get back to the mainland. We find Harold. We destroy the anchor. Distract Profit? 4-step program?
Yeah, feasibly.
Okay.
After now that I think about it, after I get to the mainland, I have a few other things that we could go do as well. She has missions. Since
Such as?
well, when your first one is destroying the anchor,
Right.
and then she will.
Oh, okay.
And all of the other aspect groups do too. But unfortunately, the only one that you can, well, you can go meet Misaki, and she's an aspect group too.
Alright. Who is calling me?
Who knows?
Oh, no one I need.
We have the same phone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's exactly how my phone rings, and that's the same like robot voice my phone has.
Is your phone British? Does it say mom instead of mom?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
What fucking British company is manufacturing all these phones?
I don't know.
It doesn't know how to pronounce anything. It's weird.
Me too.
You can say my last name perfectly fine, though. Which is Aliberti, so I really don't know how it's doing that.
Really? Right in front of your salad?
I don't think that worked as well as you hoped it did.
It worked in my heart.
Sure.
That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Not right now, I'm DMing. Okay, so, at that, she kind of like thinks for a moment and goes, and I guess I can work on different things until you destroy the altar. Or anchor. That was a slip on my part. She didn't mean to say altar.
Alright.
That's enough of that. She's right. Shouldn't be.
Will we have to send word when it's destroyed, or will you just somehow know?
I'll know.
Okay. I just pictured her sitting in a boat every now and then sticking her hand out to see if she can move it further than she could before.
Well, the difficulty was that when, like, I was just never able to do it to myself. I used to be able to do it to myself, but then I couldn't, and so we decided to try to use the boat, and then that didn't work, and then we realized that it was the anchor, and then we were like, oh shit, now I can't leave.
Someone clearly does not like you.
Hmm?
Someone clearly does not like you.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the lads. I've noticed that, how will you get in contact with us? Asks Briella. He kind of crosses her arms and thinks for a moment and just goes, probably by talking to you, since I'll be right there once you destroy the anchor.
Oh, would you do that light thing to yourself then?
Hmm?
Hmm?
Oh, okay. What'd you say, Robin?
As I was saying it, I think I realized that she already told us, so.
Okay. Um, yeah, that's kind of everything. Any more questions you want to ask? Any connections that you want to make? Because imminent doom. Well, not doom. It's kind of just like, oh, that's shitty.
What?
Maybe later.
Now I'm worried.
Would look good on my
Why not?
taxes. Hmm.
What taxes do you pay out here?
No, I'm saying me.
I know.
Okay.
We're about the under attack, aren't we?
Um. Any more questions?
Uh, I might have had one, but I can't remember it.
That's good. So she kind of leans forward and just goes like, "So now that you've asked me all of your questions, tell me about yourself." Like, Ambria, you haven't told me where you're from. You're a tiefling. That's very interesting.
I'm a nomad, so I don't really have anywhere I'm from.
And what was that like? Have any
Pretty
interesting
nice.
stories that you could tell me?
Her face just kind of looks like no. She's just thinking of bad stories.
It's almost like Ambria needs. I'm giving you shit. It's okay.
No.
She goes, "Oh, what was the name of where you lived, or like the land that you lived?"
We just there was a few different ones. We didn't really have a plot or a plan of a movement. We just kind of went places.
All right. Blue speaks up and goes, "God, I wish that were me."
You been stuck here a while, Blue?
6 years. She's been here for 30 something. She points at Calrissa.
Yeah, I guess nomadic life would seem kind of appealing in that situation. Haven't really. I mean, I guess I have been traveling since I got here, but not in the same way. There's been more things to do instead of just living, I guess.
Has Embria, like, before she came to Erinegis, has she ever been in, like, an actual city?
She's seen the outskirts of some. She went a few after the big backstory happened. She hasn't spent too long in cities. I think her time in Bellhaven was her longest time spent in a city.
Country girls make do.
Don't.
I was so desperate. Just don't. Okay. Why do I have 2 things of Roll20 open? Goodbye. Oh, whoops.
Bye, Alex.
Bye. Have a good, be a good capitalist.
Bye. Oh, I forgot I was in pictures. There's chat going on in general. Do you want to hear a good story or a bad story?
As long as it's yours, I'm sure it'll be a good story.
We traveled for a month with a pack of wild horses.
Oh, interesting. Were you taming
Remember-
them, or just...
They were just wild horses, and I guess they saw the benefit of protection while they were with us or something, but after a while they just went their separate ways. It was cool though, they were very nice to all the kids.
Sounds nice. I used to have wild horses, but they're all tamed in like within the 1st century. Erinegis used to be a lot less established.
Yeah, I haven't really seen anywhere that reminds me of where I've been yet.
Hmm. You might like it up north. She goes
That
back
doesn't-
to the world map. Up by Farstown, it's just extremely flat and just very expansive. It's essentially one large plain. And out here to the northeast of Crost as well.
We were in Crossed for a little bit.
You have to look to the northeast.
No, we didn't. We didn't get to go down that path.
Alright.
We took the long way to Bellhaven.
Mm-hmm. So, at this point in the story, I'm gonna say, Brayla already told Calorissa mostly everything. Because she, essentially, Adrian and Briella rang the bell to go talk to Nick and see if they should share all of the information. And then they decided, yeah, it's probably a good idea. And when they came back, Calorissa was like, so who's the god you're working for? Or working with? Because, I mean, she is a divine and divinely influenced being, so she can just smell it off of you. And plus, since you're literally surrounded by divine presence, she's kind of like, something's fishy here. And it's not the fish that Laddie fished up. Please laugh.
We're, we're not exactly subtle.
Yeah.
Pretty bad at this.
It's okay. You'll get better with time.
Clarice, do you have any stories you want to share?
I feel like most of my stories would be very plain and typical of a cleric.
Okay, so she is a cleric of Soon. So are you talking about like? So this one time, um,
This one time at Bible study,
this one time at band camp, someone decided to put a flute up to a guy's anus.
mm-hmm.
Turns out you can actually make some really nice music out of it. But since she's a cleric of Soon, wouldn't most of her stories be like really weird, like R-rated stories?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why she's like, maybe I shouldn't say to these new people that I'd perhaps like to get to know a little better.
Maybe. Um, kind of leans forward and goes, but you seem so interesting. And plus with being a cleric of beauty, or a goddess of beauty, you must have done some interesting things.
Um, she just kind of rubs the back of her neck, trying to think of something, at least, like, somewhat not kind of weird. What sort of story did you want to hear?
Uh, She kind of leans forward a little bit and goes, "Whatever you'd like to tell me. I do love." Let me figure out how to word this, because she is being flirty, but I need to figure out how to be flirty and say that.
Tell me about your hookups!
I always love hearing love stories.
Ambria just shifts in her seat to stare at Clarice and like, yeah, yes, tell us more.
Man, Grace hasn't had like a steady, like, long-term, like, boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything for like a couple years. Let me think of something. Let me look through the fucking minuscule backstory she has and try and pull something out of my ass real quick.
Got it. I will eat my bear claw. So how do you guys like Calorissa so far?
God, I would die for her.
I love her. His Discord's so quiet. Hold on, I gotta mess with him. I have it like all the way up, but I can hardly hear you guys. So I'm gonna turn plus down because he's crunching and munching.
Munch, munch, munch. Oh, and this is your first time meeting someone in an aspect group, because you weren't there for any of the others.
I know.
This is your first! Yay! And this is Clarissa's third.
Man, I missed playing.
Mm-hmm.
I almost would have missed again today, but I was like, fuck relatives. I'm staying home all weekend.
Nice.
So when I next see my relatives and they call me out on this is all your fault.
Well, first of all, I didn't make you do a diggity dang thing.
I know. Let me make a joke, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No. There's just like a comic of someone who's like a psychic, and someone's taking a picture of her, and the camera has like all the face recognition things. Like,
Yeah.
there aren't faces because the psychic is like talking to ghosts and stuff. It's just like, oh. And then
Oh.
like she mentions it, and the psychic just invites in more, and it's just like, oh, that's kind of cute.
Oh.
psychic character. Oh, that'd be really cool. I'm gonna make it Tulip.
Huh? Tulip? Sorry, I was spaced out a little bit.
Yeah, that's
What
okay.
about Tulip?
I'm gonna put Tulip in there, Erinegis.
Really?
Probably. I just thought about it and I was like, that's a good idea.
Do it.
I'm doing it.
She's a good girl.
She is.
I gave her like a full name, but I don't remember what it was.
Me neither.
Fuck, I put it on my. Hold on.
Excuse me.
Hua Guiying was her name.
Okay.
Tulip's her nickname. I'm pretty sure both of those words just mean flower, but
Oh.
That's cute. I can probably get rid of that too. And this. Oh, wow. What? Tulip going my baby.
yes.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else you guys want to talk to Kellis about? I mean, that's.
Thought of a story. Wait, before we end the session. Okay, so curious
If you,
things for a
hold on,
moment.
really quickly. If you
Okay.
zoom in on like the table down here, I'm thinking that Kellis is actually like sitting across the table from Clarice.
Okay.
Laddie is probably sitting next to the middle, like down here.
hmm
No, I'm just gonna drag everyone in. Go ahead and tell your story.
Okay. Back in Photovolia, probably around 2 or 3 years ago, I was in a flirtationship with a museum curator who was also a painter, and we were really close for a while. And he asked me to be his muse because he decided he was going to paint something for his own museum. And because of that, there is a lovely portrait of me hanging up in the entrance hall of the museum that he painted.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I'm sure it's a beautiful thing to behold. Embria's here. I love this feature. It's so, like, Roll20 is such a good... It's such a good.
It really is.
And of course, Shiara is right next to Embria.
Someone told me show that she accomplished her gay task.
She accomplished her gay task. Okay, got it.
I gave you like such a day, but have Shiara do something gay for me. Please, then. Middle looks so lonely.
He has Laddie next to him. I just haven't dragged him in there. And he also
Okay.
has Captain Gavin in between him and Clarice.
Okay, that's good.
You assume that I'm ever done? Foolish.
No, I didn't think we were done yet. It's just he was lonely at that moment.
There he is. Is that everyone? Oh, Adrian's here.
I ship
He's gonna sit all the way over here.
Captain Gavin in Middle, and I haven't even seen them talk to each other.
Take it back now, y'all. Captain Gavin is like the father figure to Middle. And
I missed a lot of sessions, okay?
did.
I don't know.
Middle's like 29 or something, or younger.
The ship has been revoked.
Captain Gavin is like 80 something.
The ship has been revoked. It's fine.
Okay. I'm all down for putting Middle in ships, because Lord knows I love them, but not this one. This is not a hill to die on.
I immediately rolled off of it.
Okay, good. Like, if Middle could look to his left for a moment, there's a good ship. Laddie and Middle, that's okay.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Two non-conventionally humanoid people. Good.
I feel bad for Adrian sitting at the end of the table all by himself.
You know he would do that to himself.
I know.
Look, our two angst babies are by themselves. Yes.
Surprise, surprise.
Oh, that tea is so bad now. Oh, it's been like 2 hours. Oh, that's not a good. Okay, so, well, as you tell your story, Caloris is kind of just like leaning very obviously on the table and just like, she's, what's it called when you like intertwine your fingers and then you rest your chin on top of that? I don't know what it's actually called, but she does that.
Say again, you kind of cut off like in the middle.
She like intertwines her fingers, like she puts her elbows on the table, intertwines her fingers, and then she rests her chin on top of her fingers.
Oh, okay.
Like chin hand kinda, but a little different.
Yeah, I got you.
More like I'm really invested in your story and interested in it, in you.
Nice.
Have I described Calrissa yet for you guys? Like a physical description?
I don't think so.
Okay. So Calrissa is, I believe, 6'3".
Oh my god.
Either that or 6'4". Let me check her bio real quick.
Either way, she's a whole foot taller than Clarice. Holy shit.
Okay, yeah, she's 6'3". She's very muscular, but she's also like, you can tell that her legs are extremely dense, but her arms are a little bit skinnier. I don't know. But she has the body of a soldier, so it's nice. She has like really long, flowing white hair. She's a little tan because she's lived most of her life on a tropical island. And yeah, she just looks generally like really soft. Like there's always a soft light over her. She's really pretty. She's one of my faves. Originally, I was gonna have Ravis voice her, but then I revealed too much information about the campaign to Ravis, so they didn't want to. And then I decided not to let anyone voice any characters, and it would all just be me.
A worthy sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let Blue actually scoot away from you a little bit, because Blue is celibate. Unfortunately, unless you want to marry her. In which case it's gonna take a long time, because she's celibate. But Blue is, like, a little bit shorter, I think. But she's also has a soldier's bod. She's a little bit, wider. And a little bit more muscular. And a little bit thicker. But she's still pretty. You can look at her, picture. I'll upload that real quick.
I love her.
Blue Sage is also, like, really pretty. Characters. Possibly. There she is. There she is. If you want to take a closer look at Blue, you can tell that all of, like, the blue cloth that she's wearing was dyed, like, recently from white cloth. Not recently, but it's not well made. It's like it wasn't purposely made blue when it was originally created. And she was like, you know, I want this to be blue, so I'm gonna make it blue. So she took, like, some fucking indigo something and just rubbed it on it, put it in water.
I don't mean to interrupt, but my brother just delivered me a whole bowl of lemon slices to my room.
Lemon slices?
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna eat those, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Thank you, Stone, for this gift.
Okay, so are any of you gonna flirt with Calressa, or are we gonna end the session?
I want to flirt with her, but I'm bad at flirting.
She's right there. She can carry it if you just want to start.
Ambria would flirt if she didn't know that she was flirting. Ambria is one of those people that has no clue when they're actually flirting or not.
That used to be me, but then I realized I always am.
Ambria doesn't even set out to do it. It's just like someone would tell him, "Hey, were you flirting?" And she'd be like, "Shit, not again."
It just keeps happening. I told you, bro. I told you about those flirting. I'm still waiting for those flirts. Where are they? I'm looking at my watch that I don't actually have on.
I'm sorry, I'm eating lemons.
I'm sorry, I can't flirt. I'm eating lemons. Just eating them whole.
I am.
I know, but it's just really funny.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry. So goofy.
That just looks like one lemon sliced up.
I think, yeah, it might just be one lemon, but
The sentiment still counts.
How's your lemon?
it's really good.
Someone added me? Who the fuck? Oh, you added me. Hi, Ed. Oh, why did you at me? What did I do to deserve this? I hope you liked that. You know?
What?
What?
The noise.
Did you read my tweet?
On which account? I'm reading a story about some guy eating mushrooms right now. Hold on.
Oh, well, I responded to yours.
Oh,
I
okay.
guess if I'm not that important to you, then you
No!
don't have to read it.
I use TweetDeck. I don't get alerts. I just wanted to read about the guy who would eat mushrooms off trees.
This session has hit a wall.
When did the last one end? Did it end right after dinner, or?
Essentially. Because, I mean, you guys weren't here for the last one, so there wasn't much to do or say either. So yeah, this is actually pretty good, but, I mean, you can still talk over dinner. You can be like, hey, Calarissa, I've noticed how large your arms are, but I bet they'd look even better holding me up against the wall or something? I don't know.
That would be horribly out of character for me.
I
Yeah.
wish
Look to
Clary
Robin.
says that's me.
Look to Robin.
So does Clarice say that?
Sure.
Uh, really?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't know, man. I'm just eating fucking.
I don't fucking know. I'm eating my lemon.
Sugar and lemon.
How good is it?
Real good.
Okay. Is it sour?
Of course.
Can I be gay for my own characters?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay. I love the Reddit page for Ambien. Oh, it's so good.
God, me too.
Spicy chili flake.
I'm gonna stop recording then.
Okay. Oh my god, there's just gonna be like 10 minutes of silence.